Welcome to the War on Wellness. I am Penny, your host for the War on Wellness, which airs every Wednesday here on my Facebook pages and newly on my YouTube channel. So let me know if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook. Say hello, welcome. Thank you for being here again this week. This week, our topic is diabetes and the gut, or blood sugar in the gut. And I am going to be sharing with you a little bit about my story as well as other information that I've uncovered. So, thank you for watching. And I want to say a special shout out to all of those who attended my live in person event that was held on last week. I look forward to more, and make sure that you are signed up to the email list so that you can get those notifications. All you have to do is go to my website at plantbasedpennylife.com and subscribe, and we'll make sure that you are in the know whenever I am speaking live in person anywhere in the entire globe. So, thank you again. So, we are talking about blood sugar. And I want to share with you just a little bit about my story and how I was affected by blood sugar at one point in my life. And that was really a turning point for me because I did not want to go down that path. So one day I went to the endocrinologist, and I was dealing with, at that time, thyroid problems. But the endocrinologist told me, she said, Penny, you are pre diabetic. Well, that news was something that upset me. I was not too happy about that. I don't think too many people are happy about being diagnosed pre-diabetic. If you've ever had a diagnosis of being pre-diabetic, let me know. Put that in the comments. Put PD or pre-diabetic in the comments and let me know that that has happened to you as well. And make sure you like and comment. So I got this diagnosis from the doctor, unexpected, not expecting it at all. And so I went in my car and I broke down. I called my husband and I told him that I can't believe what the doctors just told me, and it was just totally bad news. And even though in my family diabetes did run, as they say, in the family. And so I got this news and I asked the doctor, very nice lady, what can I do to not become diabetic? I was pre-diabetic and I didn't want to be move over to diabetic. I wanted to go from pre to no longer pre. And she told me something that really upset me, which probably is the reason I went to the car and cried. She said that, oh, there's nothing you can do. You're just going to become diabetic. You are pre-diabetic and you're going to become diabetic. And so, yes, thank you. Teresa has been pre-diabetic before, and someone else, another Facebook user whose name I can't see. Okay, we have others who say no, not pre-diabetic. Wonderful. I am hopefully you will never ever get that diagnosis because you listen to Plant-Based Penny and you follow the advice and strategic tips so that you can stay looking, living, and feeling well. So after the doctor told me that there was nothing I could do, I was going to become pre-diabetic. It was just going to be my fate in life. And I decided that, okay, I need to do some research myself because I just didn't accept it. I was not going to just go down this path because she said that's what's going to happen to you. And so in some of the research that I did, and one of the things that I found out in moving to actually to two of the countries, that one I lived in and one I visited. And when I lived in Costa Rica, I found that the diabetes was increasing, but but they had other challenges as well. And when I went to volunteer at a clinic in Honduras, I was working with a group from Duke University's medical team there. And so, in surveying the patients that were coming into the clinic in Honduras, one of the main issues that they had was vision. And they couldn't understand, they said they needed glasses. I need glasses. I need glasses. I need glasses. One thing they needed was glasses. A lot of them needed cataract surgery as well because they had cataracts. And one of the things that was the issue there is that they had untreated or unregulated blood sugar levels. And because it had gone unregulated and they were not doing anything about it, so many of the people there, it was affecting their vision. So, how many of you know that diabetes can affect your vision? Put a yes in the chat if you know this to be the fact. It definitely can. And so that's why there were so many people I saw when I went to volunteer at that clinic that needed glasses, that wanted glasses. And interestingly enough, I could actually talk to all of them in Spanish until I got to a few that I couldn't. But it's really interesting how well you can learn when you're immersed in a culture. And so they were suffering from something that's called metabolic syndrome. And so metabolic syndrome is just basically a cluster of abnormalities that occur that associate with cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. Okay. Said all that to say that basically metabolic syndrome is a precursor for diabetes and a precursor for heart disease as well. And so people, not just in Honduras, but people here in the United States and many other countries have adopted the quick and easy meal options. And so because of that, because a lot of people adopt the standard American diet, sad, they eat popular foods that have a lot of processed ingredients in them. One, they're processed ingredients and they're full of processed ingredients as well. And so one of those I'm going to pick on today is ramen noodles. And so, well, I'm sorry, not ramen noodles, but instant noodles. And so if you know other names of noodles that aren't ramen, then let me know because I'm not going to pick on just that one. So, okay, we have a comment here. Yes, it affects the vision and many other things. This is true. This is true. So, that's a good question for you all. So, what else does diabetes or high blood sugar levels affect in the body? How else can it affect our health? It's a very good question to ask. So there was a study that was done by the Mayo Clinic, and it was done on instant noodles. And this is something that's popular with college students, it's popular with adults, it's popular with children, with a lot of people. And so they said that instant noodles can increase the risk for metabolic syndrome, especially in women. So this was very key, found out. And so women particularly, because the BPA that's found in the packaging can affect our estrogen levels, and so it throws our hormones out of whack. And so the risk of the blood sugar increasing is due to one, as I mentioned, the processed ingredients, but it also has high sodium levels and a considerable amount of saturated fats. And so that contributes to high blood pressure, increased risk of stroke, and heart disease, all of that in one. And so it's kind of a package, a package of diabetes waiting to happen, a package of heart disease and stroke waiting to happen. So if you know anybody who eats foods that have saturated fat in them and also instant noodles, so be very careful with that. Read the ingredients on the back of the instant noodles because it's very, very key. And so one of the things that I think for my doctor. So my doctor she's pretty much adamant that, hey, um, you're going to get diabetes. You have pre-diabetes. You're pre-diabetic, and that's just going to be your fate in life. And so I think that the reason she said that is because there were some risk factors that were obvious for me. And those risk factors were that I was, I had extra weight on me. And because of that, I also, had other issues, but primarily is the weight. Oh, I did not exercise at all. And so that was another problem. And then also I had a family history of it. So I had some things that were working against me as far as that's concerned. And because of that, I was a good candidate for getting prediabetes, or my prediabetes graduating to the other levels and going on. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me see, make sure I haven't missed any of your comments here. That the effects of diabetes, let me show this comment here. Effects of diabetes affect nerve damage, your feet, your hearing, kidney issues, and the list goes on. Yes, this is true. One of the top reasons that people have their toes and their feet or legs or the amputations that occur, many times they occur below the waist because the heart pumps blood, and that's the furthest place away from the heart. And so because of the lack of the blood supply and because of the diabetes, the limbs are amputated. And I have another comment here from Teresa. This is not real food. Ah, yes, this is so true. They have it's frankenfood is what it is, right? It's frankenfood. I don't know if you've ever heard of that term before, but it is food that did not grow and does not exist, and so therefore, did not exist without being made in a laboratory, and therefore it is a problem, most definitely. So I want to share with you my screen. Let me make sure. And let's see, let's share with you my screen. And I just wanted to point out something that I want you to point out to your friends as well. There we go. Okay, let me know if you can see this screen. Put a yes in the comments if you can. Or I can just get my tech guy. If you can't see it, just let me know. Because I'm actually sharing the screen, so I don't see your comments right now. But I wanted to point out to you one thing that notice, and this is on everything. So the nutritional facts say a serving size is half of a block of noodles. So that's half of a block of noodles. So what does that mean? That means that whenever you look at the total of whatever it has, whether it's salt, whether it's carbs, or whether it's the saturated fat, which right here is 3.5 grams, you want to shoot for 0 grams of saturated fat. That this is only per serving. And so this is only a half of a package. And most people eat the whole package. And then you have down here a list of ingredients, all these ingredients, monosodium glutamate being one of the chemicals that you want to definitely avoid. So one of the things, and then look at the sodium. I mean, 830 milligrams, and this again is only for half a pack. And most people, when they eat a pack of these noodles, most people when they eat these, they are eating the whole pack. And so the challenge is that we're getting, so that's over 1,700 milligrams of sodium and salt. I believe that's what that was. And so that's just from that one meal. And then people eat other meals on top of that, or they have different snacks as well. Very good. Very good. I'm glad you were able to see that. So let anybody you know, and everybody you know, tell them to definitely avoid the instant noodles. Now, it's important to read the ingredients because I did read on the back of one of the brands, which is Annie Chun's, and she did not have any saturated fat in hers. So you want to make sure that you read the ingredients because that's going to be so very important when you are making a decision about anything, even if it's a healthy food, because one, you want to make sure that it's an actual food, as Teresa says, and that it's an actual live food. And so what we want to do on the plant-based journey is you want to have the majority of your foods, at least 90% of your foods coming from whole plant-based foods. So real live foods that have a life, foods that grow and that are minimally processed as possible, and making sure that we're exercising, which was another key point that was brought out in that study. And so what we want to do in order to avoid being pre-diabetic, so what I did, I had to reduce and eliminate some junk foods that I was eating and lose weight. And so I did join a gym at that point. And so if you're on my mailing list for my email, in the email today, it said that pre-diabetes was I had to find a solution for pre-diabetes in order to move abroad. At least I didn't have to, but I felt more comfortable knowing that I was on the right track as far as my health was concerned when I was going to be living abroad and I didn't have use of any medical system or any the insulin or anything like that. I didn't want to have to worry about that in another country and trying to interpret and make sure it was the exact right thing that I needed. I would just rather not need it at all. And so I did make those lifestyle changes. And so an unhealthy lifestyle is going to take the good bacteria and replace it with bad bacteria in our gut. And so this is going to result in a leaky gut. And so once the bad bacteria crosses over the lining of the gut, it's going to cause inflammation and it's going to cause type 2 diabetes. And so there are proven healthy lifestyle choices that I gave you, which is avoiding the junk foods. One, eating plenty of leafy green vegetables. Yay. I live in zone 7A. And here we can start planting now. I'm so happy. People like Teresa in Florida, you have a garden all year long. I am so jealous, okay? But it is going to be so important to eat green leafy vegetables and also eating foods that are fiber rich foods and fruits as well. So we want to replace the bad bacteria with good bacteria in the gut. That's going to reduce our risk of type 2 diabetes. And also, yes, eating probiotic foods containing good bacteria as well can also help. And there was actually just a study, I believe it came out last week, talking about probiotic supplements that are not as helpful for people, especially if you don't have a challenge with your gut bacteria. So probiotic foods are going to be the best option for everybody across the board. And some of those, I have a list here, would be tempeh, kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha, miso. All of those are going to help break down the foods and speed the digestion. And they're also going to help you reduce constipation. So eating probiotic foods is going to be a good thing, and it's going to increase the good bacteria in our gut. So maintaining a healthy lifestyle, exercising, and a healthy diet, those are going to definitely help us. And especially if you have a history of diabetes in your family, you want to definitely be mindful and watch out for signs and early symptoms of that. Oh, yeah. I wanted to make sure I told everybody this. Even if you are not diabetic, you're not pre-diabetic, and you are what's considered normal, make sure that you pay attention to your blood work, because there are markers for pre-diabetes before you become pre-diabetic. So there on your blood work that you can ask for, if you're not already receiving it, you have a range. And so before you even get to the range of being pre-diabetic, you can see whether or not you're even getting close to that level. So if you see that your numbers are starting to get closer, your blood sugar numbers are starting to get closer to the minimum of what it is to be pre-diabetic, go ahead and start taking action, taking strategic action to make sure that you do not cross over that line, because it's really not somewhere that you want to go. So I am really glad that I was able to share that information with you today on the War on Wellness. And I want to share this with you as well, because I'm excited about the fact that I am offering for you another group. And this group is going to be the Get Gutsy group. So we're talking all about our gut health and what it is that we can do to remain healthy and feel good. Because I'm telling you, when your gut doesn't feel good, you don't feel good at all. And so I have put together the Get Gutsy group program, and it starts on April the 17th. Thank you to all those who have already registered. Look forward to you joining, and I'm going to share my screen again with you so that you can see that. And the Get Gutsy group is specifically going to be for those who want to look, live, and feel well. So the Get Gutsy group, it starts on April 17th and it runs until May 8th. And you get me on every Monday from 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can sign up at the bit.ly Get Gutsy 032023, or you can go to my website and go to the shop page, or you can look at any one of my social media pages. It's a faith-based program, as I am happy to be a vessel to be able to help people. And it also involves all of the learnings that I've gained from 8 countries and 3 continents. And I will personally consult with you so that we can make sure that your plan is personalized just for you. It may not be diabetes that you're trying to deal with. It may be some other chronic ailment. This plan will help you across the board. And so there are weekly sessions, and there's an accountability diary. And in that diary, you're going to get instructions, you're going to get Bible text. It has a place for you to record your wins, your opportunities, your revelations, because you're going to get some in this program. And I've also written some penny verbs in that diary that will be included there. There's a section for reflection and for brain dump. And it also includes a plan, personalized plan. It has teas, it has earth elements, it has recipes. And the great thing about it, it has accountability. And so the accountability that's going to come along with that is definitely something that is going to be important for you to participate in, because some of us need the accountability of other partners and people who are going through it with us, especially if we're in the house with other people who are not on the same plan that we are. We need that support. And so the Get Gutsy Group program is here to give you that support so that you can have sustainable success on your lifestyle journey. And so you'll get the diary, the plan, and some merch. You'll get some merch as well on the Get Gutsy program. So I am Penny, also known as Plant-Based Penny, and I help people move from problems to progress with plant-based solutions. And I look forward to helping you as well. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be back here on next Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard for the War on Wellness.